Well, guys, I can't resist the urge to try and make every single panel on this car look as nice as possible, even striving for perfection, but at this point, as I said, this is gonna be impossible task for me. You can see that since the line on this door was far from perfect, I at least tried to apply some filler here and there, some putty to try and smooth it out, but it turns out that this door was repaired beforehand, before me, and I took some of the putty that was way too much on places and took most of the putty off the car that I put on the door as well, because the plastic panel is way too curved over here and it is way too bent in the middle, and when I try to straighten the metal part of the door, it looks even more crooked and weird, because when the door panel becomes straight, the curve on the plastic panel looks huge and it is awful. So I decided to scrap that idea and just get back to the original plan, just to clean it and polish it. Also, I have problems with some of the materials. You can see that it is a mess. It doesn't work well. This body filler that I used, I won't use this thing again. Over here you can see that I have the same problem with it. I will try to avoid this body filler. Also, when I decided for this panel over here that you can see it is on the ground, removed from the car, I wanted to fix this broken piece when the panel was still on the car. Unfortunately, it didn't go as well as planned. I used some fiberglass just like that, but this curve over here is way too difficult for me to make the fiberglass stick to it. The fiberglass was constantly trying to get off the plastic, and also when I applied the fiberglass it was way too cold. I mean, way too cold. The fiberglass was not drying, and I even used some heat gun and that made everything worse. The fiberglass base, the epoxy, started to melt and leak. I played with this as much as I could. Eventually it stuck to the panel, but it wasn't good enough, so I decided to just remove it and to try and remove the panel from the other car and see how the clips are gonna react, if they're gonna break or I'm gonna be able to save them and reuse them, since at the moment I don't have the time to find new clips and spend even more time fitting everything. And eventually I was able to get this off the other car. Also, I broke only one of the clips, this one. This is the piece that broke off it, and this thing these clips I was able to remove from the body of the car because it fell off here and remained on the car. So I was able to preserve this thing. The upper clips are in good shape and I'm gonna be able to use this panel. Unfortunately, now I can truly show you why I don't want to deal with these plastic covers at the moment, since I have the need to get the car back on the road. I don't have the time to waste on these things, and the reason is this. You can see that over here one of the clips broke a piece of the plastic cover, and I can't risk this to happen to the other covers because it is gonna be so bothersome for me to try and deal with damage like this one. Probably I'm gonna have to find the whole covers, and this is gonna make things even worse, and this is not the time for such complex work as this one. So this is the perfect example. You can see that over here the clips got out, but this clip was destroyed, damaged as well. This one is okay, so I'm gonna use this one, and this one probably is gonna be okay if I can remove it from here as well. And I'm gonna use some of them. The other reason is that I honestly don't think that there is a straight panel on this car at this point. I'm using the larger sander with 80 grit sandpaper just to try and smooth out the panels. I know the sandpaper is way too rough for this thing, but I don't have the time to play around with these panels. You can see that they have been tempered before, and over here I still have some spots that the sander cannot reach. I took some of the material over here, but I'm still not able to straighten this thing. I'm gonna have to apply some putty over here and play around with the body. Also over here the doors were kind of looking okay at first glance, but then when I try to see what is going on, you can see that there is a spot over here, there is a spot over here, there is a spot over here. This side over here is not perfect as well. You can see the scratches that are over here, and this is low spot as well. This is low spot as well. So now I will try to focus onto the whole thing just to bring it back to life, not on every single detail, because I intend to disassemble the whole car and try to get my focus onto every single detail and try to make it as perfect as possible before I assemble everything back together. But for the moment I will just get this painted and get it back on the road, since I will have to repeat the process. I don't have to waste time sweating over these small imperfections here and there. So now I will have to try and remove this panel also, since you can see that this was fixed with a screw, so I don't like it. I don't want to see it look like this. Probably I will try to get the other panel from the gray Mercedes and we'll see if it is gonna fit over here. Well guys, this year I failed with every single thing that I decided to do. I couldn't paint the car, there was too much work, I didn't finish in time, and I didn't expect some of the stuff that I showed you before in the back of the car and so on. But let me show you the last thing that failed, which is the filler that I sprayed over the rooftop. Honestly, I'm so disappointed. I can't continue with this, I have to fix it. And what is the problem with this thing? I tried to smooth it out and make the surface even and nice looking, so I faced a problem when I tried to do that, and you can see the filler is kind of peeling off like an eggshell. I'm gonna try to show you how this thing is coming apart of the car. Just like that. It doesn't need much, and this thing is falling apart. So this means that the filler is not bonded with the metal, and I can't proceed with this thing. I have to get it off the car and start from scratch. The annoying thing is that when I sprayed this thing, let's say it was too cold for it, but when I sprayed it over the rooftop, I sprayed over the side panels as well, and you can see that they still have some paint on them. And the funny thing is that it's not only annoying but funny at the same time, because this filler bonded great with this surface over here, but didn't bond it with the metal. So now I simply have to remove it, and I had the idea to use a different type of primer just in case, but I made some stupid mistakes recently and I don't have the time or the budget to try something different as a material, as a primer, and to fail with that and to repeat the process. So my idea is this is the primer that I used. This is the one that it peels off the car, and I bought this thing before I knew I would have this problem, just to finish everything. And now, instead of using different type of primer, these are the same type actually. I'm gonna try, I have some leftover, I'm gonna try with this different brand. I think I have half a can in here. I'm gonna reduce this thing like a primer, very thin primer, and I will spray a few coats from this can, eventually from this type, and I will see if this is gonna bond better. So hopefully I'm gonna be able to fix these problems, because I have used this type of primer. They are the same type, this brand I mean, in the past, and I didn't have any problems. I have used this brand as well, but something went wrong this time, and I don't know what it is, because as I said, it puzzles me how can the primer that I sprayed over the paint, it bonded great, but the primer that I sprayed over the metal, the clear metal, didn't bond it at all. So I'm once again running behind the schedule, but this happened, so I can't do anything about it. I have to fix it. Let's get back to work, clear the rooftop once again, and start spraying from scratch.